Hey guys, Josh from SoccerReviewsForYou.com, bringing you a first look plus on-feet video of the brand new Asics DS Lite 6 wide fit in the flash yellow and blue colorway. Now inside the box, all you get are the shoes themselves. They do not come with any extras. So let me get these guys out of the box really quickly, and we'll take a closer look at the new DS Lite 6 from Asics that I think is a pretty appealing option, especially considering that you get a kangaroo leather upper, and it's also a wide fit shoe, which we're going to talk about a little bit later during the on-feet portion of this video. Now we're going to go over all the basic tech specs, so if you are interested in learning more about this particular shoe, please stick around, watch the entire video. If you're interested in a pair of these for yourself, they retail at $135, and you can find buy it now links on the review page of my website, which will be the very first link down below in the description. With those buy it now links, you will also find exclusive SR4U coupon codes where you can save yourself a little bit of money on top of the normal retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair, first link down below in the description, go ahead and check it out. And with that being said, let's get right into the review. So what is the DS Lite 6 all about? At the $135 price point, it's in the same price range as something like the Nike Premier as well as the Adidas Gloro. So it's one of those bang for your buck models. And honestly, what you're getting for your $135 seems to be pretty solid here. The DS Lite 5, the previous model, is a shoe that I have a lot of experience with, and actually is my favorite Asics shoe that I've ever worn. So I was pretty excited when I saw the DS Lite 6 came out, especially in this wide fit variation. A lot of you guys always ask me what's a good shoe for wide feet. This is labeled as wide fit, and of course we're going to talk about that more a little bit later in the video. So if you're interested in just that aspect of the shoe, you can skip forward if you want, or if you're just interested in learning everything, stick around, watch the entire thing. So the upper, it is a combination of kangaroo leather and synthetic. Now I'd like to say that the entire upper is made from kangaroo leather, but unfortunately that is not the case. The kangaroo leather that you're going to find on this shoe is fairly minimal, similar to what you're going to find on the Adidas Gloro. It's mainly at the front in the forefoot and toe area. So you're going to find that from the toe, going all the way back to the first lace hole, the second lace hole, and then the cutoff point is kind of unusual in that they actually hid the seam here with the Asics logo here that's kind of stitched over top. So you're going to find that the kangaroo leather is cut off at this point here, and then along this little line here, this little curve in the logo itself. So all of that forward is kangaroo leather, and you have the same cutoff point here. So from here to here, forward is kangaroo leather, whereas everything back from there, so the entire midfoot as well as the tongue, is a synthetic leather material that doesn't feel nearly as nice as the kangaroo leather at the front, but what you do get is pretty solid. It doesn't feel cheap by any means, which is definitely a good thing, and it is going to make for a slightly more responsive and just solid lockdown feel through the midfoot of the shoe, which is never a bad thing. So at the front, the kangaroo leather that you get is really, really good. I know Asics is not the most popular soccer brand in North America. They're a lot more popular in Australia, but the quality that they offer on their leather models is pretty phenomenal. Definitely up there with what Nike and Adidas currently has on offer with their leather models. So it's got a good thickness to it. And again, there's not a ton of it on the shoe, but what you do get feels very, very premium. While like I mentioned, the synthetic material, it's a similar thickness, so it is going to provide a leather-like sensation on the ball. It's just not quite as soft, and I would assume isn't going to stretch nearly as much as the kangaroo leather at the front of the shoe. Central lacing system, as you guys can see, you do have two little kind of mesh vented areas right in the middle of the tongue, and then the tongue itself is just that same thickness of synthetic leather. You're going to find that they do include the little extra lace hole there as well, which is really nice to give you that nice secure locked in feel in the heel to prevent any kind of heel slippage. It does have a pretty standard cut at the back portion of the shoe, not too low, not too high, internal plastic heel counter. And then of course the inside lining material is a nice smooth synthetic leather with a decent amount of padding. And on the sides here where it's actually gray, it's a little bit difficult to see, is actually a synthetic suede, which is really, really nice. So comfort at the rear portion of the shoe feels really good from right out of the box. The insole is fully removable. You can see it right here. Features a mesh liner on top. It's got perforations throughout, and it's just a single layer of this kind of bluish foam, and you can see the actual shape to the insole. It does have a bit of an arch, and that's because the sole on the DS Lite 6 actually does have some kind of an arch to it. It's a little bit difficult for me to show you guys on video, but in person it's very, very noticeable. And when you put the shoe on, it's not like a arch support type of orthotic insole, but it is noticeably not as flat as most soccer shoes out there. So if arch support is something that is an important kind of factor in what you're looking for from a pair of soccer shoes, the DS Lite 6 and just Asics in general as a brand really seems to do a good job in terms of providing some kind of arch support in their soccer cleats, which is just something that you don't normally find from other brands or just shoes, soccer cleats in general. So moving on to the outsole here, it's a pretty standard TPU plastic construction, relatively thin and fairly low profile, which is really nice. Because of its thinner profile, it's got a decent amount of flexibility to it, but at the same time, I wouldn't say that it's flimsy either, which is really, really nice. As far as durability is concerned, I know that Asics is not particularly well known in North America for their soccer products, but the quality is fantastic, and you can see that the sole plate is actually riveted to the upper in 3 places. One at the tip of the toe, one right here on the medial side of the forefoot, and one right here on the medial side of the heel. So sole separation is definitely not something that I would be too concerned with this particular model, especially at the $135 price point. The quality is very, very good considering the fairly low price for a high-end shoe. Now, as far as the stud pattern is concerned, you can see it's a pretty traditional layout. You're going to have all conical studs, 4 in the heel, 3 on the medial side of the forefoot, 4 on the lateral side of the forefoot, and 1 support stud right there in the middle. They're also a little bit lower than average, or a little bit shorter than average, so it's going to be ideal for firm natural grass playing surfaces and even slightly harder ground playing surfaces, which I know is going to be a lot of people's situations. I know that in my area, especially in the middle of the summertime, some fields can get pretty hard, so something like this is ideal just because the studs aren't too long. They have a fairly large kind of surface area to them, so you're not going to have issues with stud pressure or discomfort in that regard. And traction is also going to be pretty good because the studs aren't too long. You're not going to lose any kind of stability or anything like that. And I really like that they added some kind of texturing to the tip of the studs, and they have a kind of a softer rubbery sensation to them as well, which is going to provide for a little bit of extra grip on the ball. It is a completely different sole plate and upper in comparison to what we saw from the previous model, the DS Lite 6. And I have to say, they definitely seem to have made some nice improvements here. It's a very similar layout, but at the same time, very different in terms of how everything is actually put together. So really optimistic about this shoe at the $135 price point. It seems to be pretty good quality. There really isn't much to complain about at that price. And again, if you're looking for something different, something that's going to offer a more traditional type of feel with its kangaroo leather upper, but at the same time isn't going to lack modern innovation, the DS Lite 6 definitely seems to be a pretty solid option. As far as weight is concerned, I would describe the DS Lite 6 as light, but at the same time very solid. So I'm going to weigh this pair for you today in real time. Keep in mind this is a brand new pair in a size 9 US. We're going to throw it on the scale, and you can see that they weigh in at 8.6 ounces, the equivalent of 244 grams. So at 8.6 ounces, they're not mind-blowingly light by any means, and like I compared them to earlier in the video, they're in a similar weight range to that of the Nike Premier and the Adidas Gloro, with those two shoes being ever so slightly lighter in the same size. With that being said, when compared to the Gloro and the Premier, I will say that the DS Lite 6 does feel a little bit more solid in terms of its overall build quality, the type of materials that they've used here, and it just feels like a sturdier, more durable shoe in general. So for that extra 0.2, 0.3, 0.4 ounces of weight, I feel like you're gaining a lot in terms of build quality and just the overall longevity of the shoe. So if having a shoe that's going to last a little bit longer is more important than saving yourself half an ounce of weight, something that's not going to be super noticeable on your feet anyways, then you shouldn't have any issues with the weight of the DS Lite 6. Alright, so here is a look at the DS Lite 6's on feet. On my left foot I have the stock laces that come with the shoes, and on my right foot I have a pair of premium neon yellow SR4U replacement laces. If you're interested in a pair of replacement laces for yourself, check out the website sr4ulaces.com. You'll find that linked in the description of this video. Now in terms of how these things fit and feel, it's a wide fit shoe, or is labeled as a wide fit shoe, so you're probably wondering, how wide are they? And the answer to that question is they are wider than average, but they aren't overly wide either. They're going to fit just about everybody, and I would say that if you have narrow feet, this probably wouldn't be the best option for you. They're bordering on too wide for myself personally, but with that being said, if you do need a wider fit, this is definitely a very, very good option for you. The leather in the forefoot feels nice and soft from right out of the box, and surely will soften up more and even stretch to the exact shape of your foot after some break-in time. The synthetic materials through the midfoot of the shoe feel really nice and soft as well. Really no issues with discomfort whatsoever. The heel liner is fantastic, feels comfortable from right out of the box. And they're just comfortable shoes in general. The arch support that you get with this shoe is not super noticeable, but it definitely does feel a little bit different, at least, than the average soccer cleat. So again, you do have some arch support with this particular model, and the sole plate is nice and flexible as well. So as far as width is concerned, if you have wide feet, this is a fantastic option for you that I would strongly consider if you normally struggle with the width of soccer cleats. If you don't want something that is squeezing the side of your feet, this is definitely something that is what you should consider. As far as sizing is concerned, I'm wearing my usual size 9 US here, and the fit and the length is absolutely perfect. So these do run true to size. If you are looking to order a pair for yourself, I would strongly recommend going for your normal size in order to achieve the best possible fit. All right, guys, that's it for my first impressions of the new Asics DS Lite 6 in the wide fit variation. If you have wide feet, this is more than ideal for you. Of course, I'm going to be testing these out and following up with more content in both video as well as written form in the coming weeks, so stay tuned for that. If you guys are interested in a pair of these for yourself right now, check out the review page on my website. It'll be the very first link down below in the description of this video. On that page right now, you will find buy it now links for all the currently available colorways of the DS Lite 6, along with exclusive SR4U coupon codes, where you'll be able to pick these up below their normal $135 retail price. So again, if you're interested in a pair for yourself, first link down below in the description, go ahead and check it out. If you have any questions at all regarding the DS Lite 6, leave them down below in the comment section. I definitely will get an answer out to you. If you enjoyed today's video, found it helpful and informative, be sure to support it with a like. Subscribe if you haven't already for daily videos on all the latest and greatest soccer gear. You can find all my social media information down below in the description as well. And other than that, guys, hope you enjoyed today's video, and as always, thanks for watching.